action!
Welcome to Breaking the Cycle, episode number 9.
Breaking the Cycle is a live show on how to be a positive male role model and lead your freak family by breaking the cycle and changing the trajectory of your family tree so that you can become the type of man your son would want to become and the type of man your daughter would one day want to marry.
Did you just say you're gonna be a positive male role model?
Yes, it felt weird.
That's what she said, positive male
I know,
role model.
but now last week she said positive female, and this week she said positive male, so now I'm confused. Positive male role model.
Doesn't that look a little fuzzy?
So what about...
Where?
Like,
I don't know.
where you are.
Yeah.
Fuzzy. Okay, just
I
go.
think it's fine.
Whatever.
So, what is this show really about? What kind of stuff do we do on this show?
These are types of conversations you should be having with your kids so they can learn to think for themselves and are not afraid to be themselves. So when they eventually, and they will be, are confronted with these life situations and are not in shock and will have an idea on how to approach it. Hold on, my pen fell real quick. Pen fell.
Stephen Kroll from Scranton, PA on the Facebookers. What's up? Are you waving at him? Are you going to wave at him? She's waving at you. She's hitting the wave button. Hurry up. Your chair fell over. All right, so this is Breaking the Cycle, episode number 9. You're giving away all the secrets. Episode number 9, and
Why are you just dropping your pen?
A pen. That's a odd shaped pen. Yeah, these sticky notes are horrible sticky. These pens have horrible stickiness to them.
Oh, yeah, he was writing on sticky notes all day. Yeah. As his to-do list, yeah.
Yeah, that's a very convincing face. So, as you know, we have our freak code, our core values, our family core values. We call it the freak code. So we could be in freak mode all the freaking time.
Get your pen.
There's just some technical difficulties on the freak show set back here, but we're just adapting and overcoming as we go. So, when it comes to the freak code, the freak mode, our core values are revolved around discipline, around energy, attack, mind, body, mission, listen, create, win, confidence, protect, and mother flippin' freak. So we usually revolve around some of those or all of those or many of those. And today we're talking about a very serious topic that if you're not talking to your kids about and teaching them about, you are fucking wrong. And it's not how to talk about a language around them. And listen.
That's one joke.
Oh, God. Here we go. What do you got?
Why is tennis such a loud sport? Because everybody raises a racket.
Because a racket means loud.
No,
like a band.
You don't have to explain.
Well,
that just makes the
by Daddy's
joke
look,
bad.
I thought he didn't know what it meant.
I don't get it why they're so horribly horrendous. But you do need to always explain shit to people.
And you
all
don't
the
stop.
time. And then we say we get it, but you don't care. You're going to explain it to the end, right? Screw it. That's what you want to do it. Rock with it, kid. Rock with it. Do what you got to do. All right, so now we got that awesome joke out of the way. That was just a great joke. That was excellent. Excellent job.
You're ready for another one?
No, we're not ready for another one.
Please.
No, we just did one. We get to in a second. We got to get rolling. We can't just sit here and tell jokes that people want to hear about what we're talking about. And again, if this topic that we're going to talk about, if this is something that you're not talking to your kids about because you're afraid, we're talking about sometimes whatever. Scary topics, uncomfortable topics, like we've talked about creeps that touch kids in weird places. We talked about that a couple episodes ago. This week...
That was in the first episode.
No, the first episode was about...
starting the show.
The freak core values, I think. We might have talked about it at drop, but that wasn't like the topic. We made that its own topic. I think second, third show. Yeah. But this week, you guys know what we're talking about this week? You don't even know. Sometimes they don't even know. They just show up ready to rock this shit. It doesn't even matter to them. They don't need to be prepared. They don't need to be prepared with anything, any secret hidden pens or notes or anything. Or jokes. Real slick, kid.
Fart?
No, that was my foot down there.
Oh.
Somebody fart?
You know what about farting? You want to hear something about farting?
It's 69% hydrogen, 40% nitrogen, and 30-something% something.
All right, now you're a fucking nuclear physicist. So here's the thing about it. if you're the annoying person that when you smell some nasty ass fart, right? Let's say you're around 5 people all day, right? You with me?
Yep.
This is not about farting, by the way. We're going to get to what it's about. This is about death. We're going to be talking about death today. Today's topic is death, just so you know, because I kept saying it and we never got to it. So stay tuned if you want to talk about death, and we're going to talk to these kids about death because it is something you should talk about. Sorry, I'm a freaking spitter. So, but before we go to death, let's talk about farts. They're very similarly related. Some people fart and it smells like death. Here's the thing. Yeah, some viciousness. Match his farts to your feet, and that's like you could rob a bank with those suckers. Jesus. Al Bundy in Married with Children, he robbed a bank with his socks one time because they smelled so bad he didn't need a gun.
Bundy?
It's a TV show, Married with Children. He robbed a bank with his socks because they smelled so bad. Everyone just went away, and he robbed a bank.
Wow. Feet complete.
Yeah. So let's go back to before we get to death, let's talk about farts. This is what we talk about on Breaking the Cycle. First of all, no one ever taught me about farts. No one ever told me about farts.
It's 69% hydrogen.
All right. Definitely no one ever told me about that because I never knew any scientists or astronauts
carbon.
or anything. But here's the thing. Let's say you're with 5 people all day, right? And you smell 10 horrible farts. Okay?
You know exactly.
No, you're with 5 people. Let's say we smell the first one. I don't say anything. The second one, it's horrible. I don't say anything. The third one, it's horrible. I don't say anything. The fourth one, it's horrible. And I say, oh my God, someone farted. What do you think that tells you about the first 3?
That it was somebody else, but the one that you farted, the one that you said, oh, who farted, it was actually you.
No, the exact opposite, I think. What do you think?
Same what Midge said.
No. I think the opposite. Listen. So the first 3, I didn't say anything. Like, oh my God, that's so smelled. Hopefully no one knows it's me. Second one, the third, fourth one. Oh my God, it smells. Who did that? Meaning that one wasn't me. If I'm bringing it up, I'm only bringing it up when it's not me so make sure that the blame is on someone else. But what about the ones where I didn't say something? It was me. So now it just tells you when someone mentions that all the time, oh my God, who farted? Who farted? You know that all the other ones you smelled before that was them. That's a secret. I'm telling you. That's the way it works. Now you've just been schooled on farts before we talk about death.
I know, but I always smell the same exact fart.
You'd rate them?
When I'm near Tyson. So
That's you.
That smells like butt, foot, and corn chips. Anyway, let's move on to death. Now we've schooled you on the art of farts. Let's move on, because that's kind of shit.
69% hydrogen.
All right, are you just going to keep repeating the same? Are you like an NPC?
6% carbon.
Are you an NPC? The NPC? Yeah, you're an NPC. Like in Jumanji.
NPC
or good guy.
Guy.
Cool guy? Good guy?
Free guy.
Free guy.
No, guy. His name
Free
is
guy.
Guy.
All right, so let's get into it. We're going to talk about death. We've experienced a lot of death in this house in the last couple weeks, right?
Yeah.
And it's a tough thing to talk about, but you have to talk about it because do you know anyone that's not going to die? Everyone's going to die at some point.
Actually, in 2045, somebody's making people immortal.
Immortal? Yeah. Where'd you hear that from? His same
Tyson
science?
told me.
Oh, scientist over here. He knows that
Fart
too.
science.
Fart science.
Fart
Teach us fart
science.
science. So in 2045, if you die before 2045, you're screwed. But apparently, the fart scientist told us that after 2045, they're going to.
Also, did you know how I figured this out? There's this like little thing up here inside your skull. It's kind of pink and it's called a brain. Did you guys know that? And you can use it to solve things.
So you solve that in 2045, people are going to become immortal in your brain. So that's just your own thought. Brilliant. Freaking brilliant. Freaking brilliant. This is going down. This started off bad and it's just going downhill from there. From the jokes to the fart scientist to the this.
Up.
Yeah. So let's get back on death. The lovely topic of freaking death. Kids need to know about death. You know, my first grandparent died. I think I was like 6 or 7. My mother's father died. He was in World War II.
Survived.
And he survived World War II. All he had was the loss of hearing in one ear from World War II, like heavy combat, like frontline combat, infantry in Germany and Poland and a couple other countries of what I read about. I got to research it a little more to remember. I don't remember everything, but survived it, and then lost both of his legs years later to freaking diabetes. That just shows you health and nutrition, how deadly it is that you could survive fucking World War II and lose your legs to diabetes. He lost both his legs had to get cut off, and then eventually died at like only 60, low 60s, not even 65. Like,
Wait, he had to get his legs like incapacitated.
incapacitated. Okay, the scientist needs to go to freaking English class or something.
No, pre-K.
Pre-K.
Okay. I thought you
Decapitated.
said that
Decapitated is their head.
I said incapacitated.
Incapacitated means you were just taken out, like put asleep or put down or whatever.
Oh, then capacitated.
I forget there is a term for it if you're losing your limbs.
I know. I forgot it. It was something.
Incapacitated.
No, it was something with an A.
I don't remember the word.
Abduction.
Abduction is getting kidnapped by creeps in a white van, like that white van that just drove by right now. Anyway.
I got abducted.
So he survived World War II, but he died. I was like 6 or 7. He died from diabetes, and it just shows you. But and then think about it. Think about let's because we go all over the place. We're like scatterbrains. We're like little freaking gerbils here. We just go from one thing to the next. That's where our brains are wired, right? The freak mode. That look at the viruses. You'll see all these like ways to motivate you to go get a shot, but no ways to motivate you to stay healthy, to not have to take medication, to not have to take a bunch of drugs, to eat, to work out, boost your immune system. You don't see anyone pressuring you to do that, but pressuring you to take a shot, take drugs. Do you know if you go to the doctor with almost anything nowadays, after one visit, and I've had clients do it, where they were just had some anxiety, so their heart rate was up and their blood pressure up just for temporarily, and the doctor automatically says, oh, we got to put you on blood pressure medication. Once you're on blood pressure medication, you're pretty much on that the rest of your life. So they want to put them on that immediately without asking any questions like, do you have stress at work?
Do they like get money for that?
I'm sure they're getting some kind of cut. The drug industry is the biggest industry and the biggest ripoff in the world. Like medication, those little pills. You know, you get a bottle of pills sometimes that you have to pay like $200, $300, $400, $500, $600 to insurance companies. You only pay your little copay like $5, $10 or $1. Remember the time we had to get a prescription for like the Russian's toothache or something? It was like $1.60 or something. I didn't even have it because it was like so I had to use a credit card. But then they send that to the insurance company. The insurance company will pay the company like hundreds or thousands of dollars for this one bottle that took them like they made it in like 30 cents to make these little capsules. Anyway, big scam. I don't know the details of it. I don't know that much about it. Yeah.
And you said that the person who made vaccine had the most business problems.
Of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They had all kinds of health restrictions and health lawsuits against them. And that's who the vaccines supposedly and the medications are from. But whatever. We're getting off track. But the point is, stay fucking healthy. Do your exercise. Eat healthy. Focus on your nutrition. That's what you need to think about. So my grandfather died at a young age, had to go to his wake and see there. And when you go to a wake, their casket's open. They're dead and they preserve the body so it doesn't like rot for like those few days. And you go and you see the dead body of your relatives there. It's like kind of awkward. You can even touch them and they're very stiff. But it's like your last time seeing them to say goodbye to them before you go to the funeral.
Wait, did you touch him?
Yeah. And he's actually in a wall. He wasn't buried in the ground. He's in a wall next to that. And his wife, my grandmother, died 20 years later. So and actually died on my birthday 20 years later after I came out of the Marines. And they're in a wall in Westchester somewhere in the same cemetery that Babe Ruth is in, the famous baseball player. They're in the same cemetery as Babe Ruth in Westchester. Like near the Bronx.
He was fought in World War II?
No, he just happened to be in the same cemetery. I don't know. It's where he was from, I guess. Somewhere, it's like near the Bronx. I forget somewhere. It's in Westchester.
Wait, when did Babe Ruth die?
Don't know. He was playing baseball in like the 1920s.
I remember you.
You
still have a Babe Ruth card.
Not a real one. Those are not real. If that was real, it'd be worth millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
There's baseball cards that are worth millions of dollars. Millions.
The older
a single card. Yeah, if it's old and in good condition and like a rare one, like not a lot of them exist. There's the most expensive cards like now I think like $2.5 $3 million for one baseball card.
That's like 3 houses. Like 3 good houses.
I could get
or
like
it could be 1 good house.
I could get like 5.
See how he's thinking. I like how he's thinking, saying that's 3 houses. Now, if you're a small-minded person, be like, wow, $3 or $4 million, you could buy like 10 or 12 houses with that. Thinking of like another house. He's thinking $3-4 million. You could buy maybe 3 pretty good quality houses with. Thinking about $1 million home. I like the way you're thinking. I like it. Thinking big. Think bigger. Go home, sucker.
With that, I could buy like 5 horses.
No, it's gold.
Like
5 horses? Jesus, those horses are almost as much as a house. There are some race horses are freaking hundreds of thousands of dollars, probably millions of dollars. Those like race horses that go in
like
those
those
races.
carriage horses. I want that.
Carriage horse.
You want that? You want the giant carriage horses that are like 8 feet tall?
Those carriage horses are massive. They don't run very fast. They're just strong. And I guess I don't know. I don't know
One
much about
kick
horses.
could plow your gauntlet.
I don't know much about
See?
horses.
It can protect me.
All you have to do is just go like this to like right here.
Or you can get a gun. That works too.
Yeah.
No, I want a horse.
You could just-
I mean, to protect you, you can still get the horse, but all right. Back on to
protect
death.
you.
So my first experience with death was probably that. I had a dog in like the 2nd grade. We had a dog named Major before the boxer and before Tyson dog. We had a boxer before that.
Major.
There was a black lab that we had named Major when I was a young kid. And you know what happened to it? My father didn't like the dog very much. So he took it to work one day. He just decided to take it to work for some reason. And he said on the way home from work, the windows were down because it was hot, and the dog jumped out of the car and ran away.
Did he throw it out?
Probably just let it loose somewhere, he said, in the Bronx. And I swear we're going to visit my grandmother in Yonkers. So we go through the Bronx to get there. We go near the Bronx, and we swear we saw the dog. We're like, that looks like the dog. Let's go back. It was like a few blocks down. It might not have been or not. And my father was like, no, that's not him. And he drove off because he wanted to make sure we didn't find it, I guess. But anyway, we thought that dog died. But then my grandfather died. All my grandparents died until my last grandmother when I was like 23. So between 6 or 7 to 23, between 6 or 7 and like 12, 3 of them died. 3 of my grandparents died. And then the last one like lasted long past all the other ones till I was out of the Marines and 23 years old. But you have to, death is part of life. Like everyone's so afraid of death, right? Like people are so afraid of death. What if death is
Good.
fucking awesome? Like we don't know what happens. Maybe it's like just a
Yeah.
big ass party.
Out there in heaven, you could do whatever you want.
How do you know?
How do you know that?
See, no one knows. But maybe you're gonna have all the
Yeah.
cupcakes and freaking string cheese you want.
And I won't even get diabetes.
See, I like the way you're thinking too. I don't know why I said string cheese. That's just what came out.
And
Cupcakes and string cheese.
I actually love string cheese. But imagine whatever you think of, it comes right in front of you if you really want it.
Maybe that's what
Whatever
how about
you
in
think
real
of
life? Do that in
happens.
real life. Think about it strong enough. It's going to motivate you to work towards it and make it happen. Doesn't mean it's going to happen automatically. You're going to have to bust your ass and work towards it, but that can happen in real life too. Focus on something
Guys,
strong
wanna jump?
enough. Oh boy, here we
I
go.
want to do one.
Here we go.
Okay, I could do one and then you could do one. What falls all day and never gets hurt? A waterfall.
Speechless. Abso-fucking-lutely
You
speechless.
said I could do one, so yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. and then-
Wait,
What
we
you got?
didn't even get to the.
What did
I
the
know.
dollar?
This is how we roll sometimes.
What did the
what
dollar
you do on the
get
show.
for her birthday?
How do you know if it's a her?
What did what?
What did the dollar get for her?
You gotta speak. You're mumbling.
What did the dollar get for her birthday?
Dollar.
Yes,
Dollar.
What did the dollar get for her birthday?
A doll house.
Double. Speechless. They get better and
And
better.
for a joke?
They get freaking better and mother flipping better.
Every day.
All right, let's get back to death. Death, murder, and destruction. Very believable. So
Okay.
you have to understand death, and is it bad? Is it sad? Sure,
Yes.
but it's part of freaking life. Not everything dies. This moon and the sun that's out there. There were
It
people
will
under.
die.
No, but there were people under that same star and moons thousands and thousands of years ago, wearing robes
Literally.
and sandals
Did you-
under that same exact sun and same exact moon. And guess what? They died, and then their kids died, and then their kids died, and then their kids died. It's just part of like that is life. Like that's the cycle of life. It's just the way it is. Like that's why in all those like cartoons,
Daddy.
they seem. Yeah, I'm not in the middle of a sentence or nothing. Like Lion King, the father dies like right in the beginning, right? Or someone dies in the beginning. They
Yeah,
they,
it's
those
what-
they do those purposely to teach kids about death. Like that's why it's kind of fucked up, but they have like death in all those movies. Like it's
Yeah,
like
it's-
vicious, right? His brother set him up to get killed by the hyenas or whatever.
No, his brother pushed him off a hill into a running herd of buffaloes or something. Like
Think about that. Think of how sick and vicious that is. His brother pushed him off a hill and it's Lion King, one of the greatest kids movies of all time, and that's what happens in the beginning of it because death is part of life. Like you have to understand that. So recently, Midge saw a bird, a little tiny baby bird, struggling in the middle of the road.
He couldn't fly. nothing.
Couldn't fly, and you were worried about it, right? So you wanted to do the right thing and help it. So we took it home, and it escaped from the house, and it flew around the house or sort of like moved
and I
around.
was in the middle of working out, and then she yells, Chirpy! I'm like,
They named it Chirpy.
yeah. And then I take off my shoes, I run upstairs, and it's in the middle of the hallway. And
On the counter.
So we had it, and we were going to take care of it for a day or two and either let it go or take it to the vet. And we had it in the house in a little makeshift cave with plenty of space to breathe and stuff, where it had food, it had whatever it needed, water. And
We even put some real grass from the lawn in it.
it escaped from the cage like late at night, and it was raining outside, the rare time it rained. So we didn't want to go let it loose for the first time on a different street. So we were going to bring it the next morning to go let it loose where we found it, because it looked like it didn't need to go to the vet, like it was ready to go. Even though it was a little baby, we were going to bring it right where we found it. Hopefully it'll find its family or whatever, or maybe just nature will do its thing that nature does sometimes. Remember that YouTube video where someone, would they let the mouse go or something?
They let this little mouse go, and then a hawk just flies in.
The second they let it go, they're like, you're free, little mousey. They rescued it. It was injured. The second they let it go, a hawk came in and boom, scooped it up, chomped it up. That's life. Like, that's just nature.
I remember we had a mouse in our house.
And we let it go in the middle of the street. And
We
it
let
just
it
came
go-
back.
Yeah, that was like old house. There was a mouse
we let it go, and then the second we put it down, it started going back to our house.
Yeah.
from like all the way down the street. It found, those things are freaking smart. They know where they know where the food is at. They ain't no dummies.
Zip. We trained that little soldier.
So literally
Yeah,
a couple days after.
Can I tell the bird story? Can I keep telling
Go ahead. What else we got with the bird?
So he was trying to get out of it in the cardboard box because it was kind of small. We wanted to make it bigger, but it was the only cardboard box we had from deliveries at the time. So he tried flying, and he was bumping his head. So and then one day we went to go check on him. He was laying on the ground dead. So then we picked him up. And we were moving him, and we saw his neck moving very floppy. So he must have broke his neck.
So even though you tried to do the right thing, and you helped it out, so that's what you could do. You tried to help him, and it didn't work out for freaking Chirpy. But you did what you can. You tried to help him, and next time, either we will. What would you do next time? You see a hurt bird? Are you going to leave it there and let the hawk come in and swoop it away? Are you going to take it, or maybe take it home and just for a little while and bring it to a vet? We could bring it to a vet, but then we're calling vets even for the hamster, and it's like vets. Remember, they wouldn't take it. They said you had to wait like 3-4 days.
I know, but
for the vet.
When you were at the project, we found the perfect one. We set everything up, and then we got home. We were talking to him in the car. We got home. We saw Zip. He was dead, so then we just canceled everything.
And the vets, to see a hamster, will tell you right off the bat, like, just to show up, $500, right? Even though you think it's already dead. They say $500 plus whatever else they need to do to it. And we were willing to do that for the hamster, because then a couple days later, the hamster, we don't know if it went into hibernation mode. It just was... It was just sitting there laying down, and these hamsters have a little mini mansion with all kinds of tubes and food. And so we don't know what went wrong with the hamster. I think they're just very fragile, and the hamster ended up, like, how much sooner or later was the hamster dead? Like a week from the bird? Or when it first went to like hibernation or whatever? It went to hibernation pretty much and never came out.
No, we had the bird
His
in
brother was
late
biting him.
September.
His
early
brother
October.
was biting him.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
No,
I
saw him.
I don't know about that.
I saw him.
Because they were like just messing around, but that's not what put him into hibernation.
Even when Zap... What are you doing?
Oh my God.
Even when Zap...
So then we had that. How long was that after?
About a month.
No, it was from the
No,
time
it
time it happened with the bird to the hamster going like into hibernation mode was not a month. That was like
he went into hibernation October 31st, Halloween.
Into hibernation on Halloween.
Anyway, that was within a month or less. 2 times you had to deal with death of a bird you tried to help and felt bad for, and you thought you were doing the right thing and helping it, and then a hamster.
Our pet.
What was his name?
Zip.
And what's the other one's name?
Zap.
Zip and Zap. Your back is to the camera. That's very
They're
rude.
twins.
Disrespect.
They're twins.
Twins. Zip and Zap. So who's still here?
Zap.
Zap. So you need to have these. And was that the first time you ever heard of death or knew what death was or understood death before that?
No, definitely not. I learned death when I was like 2.
What in Grand Theft Auto 5 or Call of Duty?
No.
Probably.
You.
We robbed stores and then
Yeah, and
she starts fights. She literally beats
yeah,
up
and
bodybuilders.
so we find each
Beats
other.
up bodybuilders.
So since we have 2 TVs, 2 PS4s, we go on both of them in both of the rooms, and we go on like Google Meet or something, and we look at each other so we can talk because we're too lazy to yell across the whole entire house. So we find each other on the map on GTA Online, and then we're either walking together on the beach, and I start fighting people to get money for it, or we're driving around robbing stores.
Excellent.
You want to
Great.
hear another story?
Or we're
What?
at these rich apartments and we're buying some because me and Tyson love to buy these super cool apartments and like these garages and stuff. And now we live in the same rich apartment building. It's huge.
Okay, I'm gonna do my story quick version. So I spent $20 on like $1 million in GTA, and I buy this cool car that I wanted, and then she buys grenades at the gun store
You
and
two are just sick individuals.
pulls it inside the car. She pulls the pin.
I
The
did-
grenade
I
is
did-
live. The grenade is live, and she drops it.
in the car.
Yes, in the car.
Accidentally.
I guess that has to do with death.
Yeah, and then
That
she
fits the theme of the show. Pulling a pin of a grenade in a car and dropping it. That definitely fits the theme of freaking
Yeah.
death that we're talking about
blows
today.
up my
didn't
car that I
purposely.
spend $20 on it,
And then
killing
he spent,
me and her.
Wait, I want to say
And this is not paying attention.
Please.
All right, well, we need to wrap this up. We got to get
so-
rolling.
And then he spent another $20 to buy it again, but he didn't know that he had insurance.
She did the exact same thing. She pulled the pin and dropped it again in the car. And I was like, "Oh, I have insurance."
Anyway,
Yeah.
you're getting way off
Yeah,
track and
yeah,
you're
we're
losing,
gonna
you're
off
losing us. You're losing us. All right. So the point is, have these freaking conversations with your kids. Talk about talk about life. Talk about death. Talk about what is living a good life. How do you live a good life? But also, death. Listen, death is a normal, natural, guaranteed freaking part of life. And you never know when your ticket is going to get punched, is the saying. You never know when it's going to happen. Like, you don't know. Sometimes people, whatever, you have to be kind of prepared for it. And
Our great grandma is still alive.
how old are your
But-
great grandparents?
Our
90.
great grandpa is 93, and our
No,
great
94.
Oh yeah, his birthday. Yeah, our great grandpa is 94, and our great grandma's 91.
Wow, I never had anyone.
90.
No one on my
90,
side ever
90.
lives that old.
And also our great grandma,
Lived until
she already
98.
died. Yeah, she lived until 98.
None of
2
my side.
years
Of
from
the, none of my side of the family was like over 90. Like 88 to the oldest.
And
I
she
remember.
was at 98, still like exercising. She was like
And eating healthy.
exercising.
Like my oldest grandparent on my side was 88, I think, that I can think of that lived till. But that's part of life. Like, is your grandparents, your great parents, your parents? I'll be dead one day. You never know when. So what do you think the thought is, and the moral of the story is? The thought of this whole story is that everyone,
Back to
everything is gonna die. No, we got to wrap this
Wait,
up.
but
Everything or everyone is gonna die someday. So what do you think that means you should do with your life?
spend it on
wisely.
and spend it on all the good things you can, all the stuff that you wanted to do to make sure you have everything covered and you're ready to die.
You're ready to die. That's like a stoic. That's what they say. Stoic philosophy. Like in Marcus Aurelius, there's like they're living to always be ready to die. Like they're ready to die. Like that's if you live your life so good and so well every fucking day, like you are ready to die. You don't want to die. Obviously, you don't want anyone around you to die, right? But you're ready to because it's part of life. Like that, death is life. It's the way it is part of life. So
we gotta wrap it.
live your freaking life like a fucking savage. Every day you wake up. Treat every freaking day as if it's your last day. Like, live it a good fucking life. Like, that's what we're talking about. That was your saying. Life is a good life, right? What do you would like to add in? It better be related to what we're saying.
So, back to the 98-year-old grandma story. So, she would have still been living, but one time she went on a walk, and this is how she died. She tripped, she had a heart attack, and died.
No, she tripped in the hospital.
No.
Sometimes you get stories mixed up or you hear different stories. You have to figure out what the truth is. We'll find out. I don't know.
We'll find out.
All right. Anyone have a joke to wrap it up and
Me,
take
me,
us
me,
home?
me,
No,
me.
you have one. You have one too? A different one? Which?
What is an astronaut's favorite meal?
But he already
What?
said like 3 jokes.
Lunch.
Lunch. I don't get
Oh
it.
my God.
Lunch.
Anyway, before we wrap it up, we got to get rolling because we got to go refuel the beast. What do you have to take us home? Got a good one to take us home?
Let's see here. What did Cool Yoda say when he said...
Father. My God, the main one.
Oh, okay.
Your main joke of the day. I'm leaving it for
Why
the
did
end,
the-
the grand finale.
Why did the little girl put her dad in the freezer? She wanted a popsicle.
You don't say them clear. We can't even hear what you're saying, and you
What
don't
did
pause after you say it. She wants their popsicle. I don't even know what the hell you just said. What? Was that even
Why
English
did
or
the-
were you speaking Russian?
Why did the little girl put her dad in the freezer? She wanted a popsicle.
Can you like? What is this? She
She
wanted
wanted
a
a
Um,
popsicle.
I'm leaning on the
And that's not our
counter.
primary. That's our primary. That's our main primary right there. But
Well,
you're right
this
here,
is like
so.
the biggest screen, so
Yeah,
I'm like,
and you see yourself.
eh.
Alrighty.
So you're like,
No
"Hey."
excuses. Peace
All
out.
right, we got to get rolling. This has been episode number 9 of Breaking the Freaking Cycle. And listen, have these conversations with your kids. Be the fucking role model that your kids need and teach them about these things about life and death. It's part of life, so they need to know about it so they're not freaking blown off track. And when they grow up and they're fucking 35 years old, that every little thing that happens in their life is just a catastrophe to them because they live their life wrapped up in a little bubble because you think you're protecting them from things. And really all you're doing is doing a disservice because you're not teaching them shit. Fucking teach them. Teach them with how you're acting. Teach them what you're doing and talking and have these damn tough conversations. We gotta get rolling. And in case no one told you and you yet today, you are fucking awesome. No excuses. Why go roll over there? Anything you two little freak shows want to tell the people.
No excuses!
Very, very, very normal children. I can't imagine where to get it from. We will talk to you later. No excuses.